What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Restoration Rundown Podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to you, the restoration business owner. My name is Ben Riccardi from Ironclad Restoration Marketing, and I'm the author of the No BS Guide to Internet Marketing for Restoration Contractors. Now, the Restoration Rundown is your source for everything related to managing and owning your restoration business, from bringing on special guests and sharing success stories to taking deep dives with our team here at Ironclad Restoration Marketing into all of the online channels that you need to be tapping into to get visibility for your restoration business and get more leads from the internet. We've got you covered. So buckle up and get ready for the rundown. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this very special episode of the Restoration Rundown Podcast. I want to thank you for tuning in. We're in the heat of summer. It is heating up a little more than halfway through the year by the time this airs. So I hope you guys are all on your way to having a productive cat season. If you're not, holler at us, ironcladrestorationmarketing.com. Well, if you haven't heard already, there's a little new thing called AI. I think it stands for artificial intelligence. It's been revolutionizing every industry across the board, from relative to the restoration world, from claims to processes. AI is moving at breakneck speeds. We had a couple episodes where we've talked about this from a marketing perspective. We brought our friend Doug Weatherman from Rare Restoration on, and he's talked about some things that were coming up. And we were talking in the background about probably the need for talking about this a little bit more, because I think that, one, there might be a lot of people missing the buck on some opportunities to enhance processes and certain things about your business, but there's a lot of things that are happening that are bad. So today I want to present the good, bad, and the ugly of AI for the restoration world. And who better to bring back on the podcast than a couple of my friends, people you guys should know from the industry. Doug Weatherman from Rare Restoration, Mr. Andrew McCabe, the Restoration Rebel leader, the Total Claims Alliance leader. Doug, Andrew, Andy, what's up, guys? How's it going? Wait, how do we know that you guys aren't AI right now?
Well, if I was, I'd look a whole lot prettier than this.
Especially you, Andy. Every time I get an email, I've got a different, cool AI-generated image of you climbing a mountain or conquering a horde of ogres.
Flying a spaceship.
Right. What's up, Douglas?
How's it going, sir? How are you?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Like the
Good to see you, Ben. Yeah, right. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having us on. I agree. This is
Ben. Thanks for
this is an
us,
important
sir.
time.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit. We talked a
ahead.
little bit backstage about the things that were coming up, and we didn't want to waste everything out there, but man, there seems to be, I know, Doug, it's been a couple months since we've talked. Andy, same thing with you, but man, it seems like things have just moved way further ahead than we anticipated. I know, Doug, you kind of warned, hey, this is going to happen, this is where it's going. Doug, I know you've implemented a ton of really cool GPTs out there that are helping the industry out. So I want to talk a little bit today about what we're talking about in the background. I'll let you guys decide who's going to go first. And really, at the end of the day, we want to kind of see how this is affecting the industry. One, we're going to talk about the good about it, right? And we don't want to be ominous about every little thing there, but I think people need to be cognizant of the changes that are coming and coming fast, rapidly changing everything about the processes in the restoration world and home services in general. So I'll let you guys take it away and kind of give a little background about what we're speaking about.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for having us, Ben. Andy, always good to see you, brother. It's an important time, guys. It's a very important time. When I was on here back in March, I think it was, I was right. AI is having a big effect on our industry, and it's moving very, very fast. We're here today to kind of let you guys know. They're like Ben was saying, it's not all bad. There are some really good things that are coming for restorers down the pipeline and things like that. There's product development in place right now that's going to make our lives a little bit easier. But there's some things out there too that we need to be cognizant of. And if we're not on top of our ball here as an industry, we may get rolled over. And that's the last thing I want to see. As an independent restorer from Colorado, man, we definitely don't want to see anything befall the industry, because we're just a little fella out here. You know what I mean? So if anything big happens to the industry that starts to make a swift change, we're going to be the first ones to feel it, and we're probably going to feel it the worst.
I agree. Doug, why don't you? I saw some splashes on my LinkedIn feed this morning about a big old Medicaid fraud scenario. Is that what you were talking about earlier? Why don't
Yeah,
you give
yeah.
us the rundown on that, the ugly part
Yeah,
here.
sent you guys a YouTube video yesterday at 90-something doctors, a whole bunch of registered nurses, and a bunch of medical industry professionals being arrested in the largest fraud case, I guess, in medical history, like in medical practice history.
Like billions, like 40 billion or something.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out how many billions of dollars it is. You know,
I
and
don't think they've scratched the surface on what that's going to look like at the end of the day. I mean,
and they got caught by AI too. They got caught by AI calculators and AI watching the billing practices and everything else. The one doctor that was billing from 3 different hospitals on the same time at the same day. I can't remember him, but the one doctor, 3 different hospitals, 3 different places at the same time of the day every time.
Yeah, they were skin grafting.
Were
they They were performing skin graft surgeries on people that were catatonic in hospice. Just to bill, and it's insane. I watched your video this morning. I don't think they've even started to scratch the surface. So I know that we were looking at that just in reference to today and what we're going to talk about. So how are we going to relate those two things to elderly skin grafts to the restoration world?
Well, I mean, the medical industry and the insurance industry do kind of play hand in hand, much like our industry and their industry does too, right? So I think that probably the best thing for us to do is just take note of this, you know, that there's systems in place now that are checking on the other sides of things and making sure that things are accurate out there. And just like the doctors, like we're not going to be exempt from that either. The AI tools that are being invented to check our accuracy and that are in play right now to check our accuracy every day. These are the same things, you know, and the insurance industry, for one way or the other, I mean, had something to do with having that case prosecuted, right? There's a difference there between us and the medical industry, obviously, but at the same time, there's a correlation there too as well. And the thing that caught them, the thing that caught all these doctors out here doing all the wrong stuff was the artificial intelligence system that somebody had created to look for efficiencies and inefficiencies. And the inefficiencies that this thing spotted were what spurred this investigation that comes from the FBI, the medical boards, and all kinds of stuff in like 13 different states it is now. And I mean, billions and billions and billions of dollars. So, I mean, we're you know, these systems are existing, like they're out there. How long is it going to be before somebody takes a notice at restoration, right? We're a big enough industry, dollar for dollar, to where we matter enough to where that there's going to be somebody out there that's going to be creating tools to make sure that we are being correct and efficient in our billing and our work practices and everything else too, right? They're called Guidewire, and they're already out, and they're already making products that are already jamming emails down your throat about all the stuff that they're not covering or whatever else. And policies are being denied by computers now. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are happening, right? But the systems are out there to audit these things. So how long is it going to be before a system is in place to audit restoration at invoices and estimates? Restoration pricing as well. How long before the same system pulls up to the estimating softwares and says, hey, let's talk numbers for real. You know, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that that's on the horizon, but there is a difference between us and the medical industry. Don't make a mistake there, especially in billing practice, in my opinion. But at the same time, the correlation between the whip getting cracked on them and the whip getting cracked on us is there, and it's literally a couple of keystrokes away from taking a look at our industry now instead of theirs.
Yeah, but would you say there's a lot of fraud right now? I mean, I can tell you that probably yes, especially back in the day here, especially in South Florida, especially hurricane season, re-roofing and tarping. And I want to say, and I'm kind of saying that to say this, is there a lot of fraud in the industry? Is this a necessary tool from the restorer's perspective, right? And I'll tell you from a digital marketing perspective, Google makes things a huge pain in the ass. For instance, if you were a locksmith 10 or 15 years ago, you used to be able to game the system like crazy, be #1 ranked for everything out there in the world. And Google put the kibosh on that, implemented some algorithm updates that made it a huge pain in the butt for everybody else out there. But it was all in the vein to enhance user experience and make sure that it was a fair and level playing field. So are you seeing that trend and this is where this is going? Or do you see some issues with this possibly down the future? I mean, how much of a need is there for this?
Well, I don't know how much of a need that there is for it. I'd say that there's probably it's going to be an opportunity type thing, and the carriers are going to decide when the need is there, right? They can crack the whip at any given time by opening the checkbook. It's just when they open the checkbook and for what reason.
I would argue that there is not near the amount of fraud in the property side of insurance as there is on the medical side. The whole system of Medicaid has been almost set up for folks to take advantage of.
Yeah.
And the whole, the Florida is ground zero for Medicaid fraud, and it has been for quite some time. And there's a tons of reasons behind that. If you've read, who wrote The Tipping Point? Gladwell. If you read Gladwell's, Gladwell went pretty deep on the Medicare side of this, Medicare fraud in Florida, in his follow-up book called The Revenge of the Tipping Point. But on the property side, it is, first off, I think there are an overwhelming amount of honest, good people in our industry. Mm-hmm. And there are some bad apples.
Yeah.
But the ability to game the system on a carrier by carrier basis, on a claim by claim basis, is just not as easy as it is on the doctor's side. You can obfuscate so much stuff through medical billing, and especially if you're working for 3 different hospitals like this guy was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's opportunity there, and there's intent there.
Yeah.
I would argue that there's very few restorers that got into restoration with the intent to game the system.
Sure.
Well, we've had to learn different ways to play the game, but that's different than gaming the system.
Yeah.
But where AI comes in is pattern, pattern recognition. That's what we're talking about here. There was no way for a human to look at the vast amounts of data that's available and run any kind of cogent analysis until now. Now we've got a machine that is able to digest all of the data, not just some of the data, not just a segment. They digest the entire data set and they look for patterns. Are there going to be some patterns that come out? Probably. But I think they're going to be small potatoes compared to what we're seeing in the news today.
100%. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% that the medical industry does have the opportunity to do more fraudulent type things. I agree that the opportunity exists for those professionals more often. And I think that when you have the word doctor in your title, they just don't look at the bill that hard. When it says Andy McCabe, they definitely look at the bill that hard. They said Weatherman, they look at the bill that hard twice. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean it's that's just part of it. But Andy's right with the pattern recognition, right? There isn't a human short of like Ben Affleck's character in The Accountant, and then The Accountant 2. You know what I'm saying? Short of Ben Affleck and The Accountant, there's not another human being who's going to be able to look at that much data and come out with these pattern sets, right? And we're in restoration. I do agree that there probably is going to be some patterns that they find, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be on a line item basis, because our jobs vary from job to job, right? The services vary from job to job. So the pattern recognition can get there, but it's not going to be there as it would be for like a medical procedure where it's literally whatever all in a row. It's the same thing for this time. It's the same thing for next time. It's the same thing for next time. So they hone in on the items that they weren't supposed to do or didn't need to do or whatever. And that's the pattern, right? So that's where we're going to have the same issue. You didn't need that many dehues. You didn't need that many fans. This company has a consistency of putting down too much equipment. That'll come back in a scorecard for you automatically now. Like, it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, right? You'd be susceptible to that same scorecard rating then, where these guys always put down too much equipment. These guys always end up having to do long punch lists. These guys piss off customers. It'll be, no matter what it is, there's going to be a metric for it. And the pattern recognition for us is going to be in those types of things. I don't think it's going to be in so many of the line item charges, because they vary so much. And I mean, the different jobs too, water, fire, mold, all have different things on them. Now, if someone were to isolate into water jobs, check against grain depression, things like this. Maybe there might be some things that might come up, but that's a more advanced system, I think, than any one that exists right now.
Yeah, and again, it's the intent. I just don't think the intent is there.
Yeah.
Yes, naturally, human nature is going to say, I want to maximize every claim, but maximizing every claim is different than making shit up and putting in things that aren't there. And that happens too. I mean, I see those bills come across my desk, and I was like, did you do that? You've got a wall drying unit. I mean, this came up last week. You billed for 7 days of a wall drying unit. I'm not seeing a wall drying unit in your photos here. Oh, we didn't use it. We just put it in. I'm like, son, that's not going to fly. That's going to get caught. Like now it gets caught eventually, but with the AI, it's going to get caught now. You're not going to get away with that shit anymore.
I mean, in the medical field, and we're just on a point back to the medical field. I mean, yeah, it's a lot more of a non-tangible thing, right? You can kind of say, especially when it comes to neurology. And so my marketing agency, we cut our teeth in the medical industry. So I saw it in Florida firsthand. A lot of the chiropractic industry is like that. You got an accident, or you've got headaches, and then you're billing forever, and people are getting injections they don't need. It was rampant down here. I mean, we went from that to the opioid epidemic. I mean, I'm in Palm Beach County. This is where it began. So I totally get that. In what, just to piggyback on it, in what regard, because like I said, with the locksmith thing, for marketers, it was nice that Google stopped these people from gaming the system. Is there any of that consensus in the restoration world where these guys are maybe taking advantage? And I'll use Florida as the example. I mean, knowing public adjusters and knowing some restoration companies down, especially more south in Florida for me, there is some of that going on, right? When it comes to hurricane damage, but it's harder to hide from. Like you said, you either put drywall in or you didn't. You either had mold or you didn't. The pictures need to back it up. Did you have DUs? But, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to avoid that. Is there any kind of, consensus welcoming of these types of tools in a sense to where it's like, this may make your job easier when it comes to getting these claims approved, when they can kind of not hide from that anymore? Does that make sense?
There should be. And I think there should be. Let's talk about guys that just do TPA. Talk about guys that do a lot of TPA work. AI is going to revolutionize TPA. The claim is going to come automatic FNOL, distributed, no humans, no nothing. Man, you push 6, talk to this machine, tell this machine what's going on. Machine's going to send it out to approved vendor who's next on the list, period. That vendor is going to then communicate with the same machine, turn in all of its paperwork, turn in all of its documentation. As long as it's following all the SLA, then you're set, man. Yeah. The machine's going to be like, this is approved, and the human's not going to have to do a thing. And that's what the insurance companies want more of, man, is less human beings, because that's how you maximize profits if you're an insurance company. I saw an adjuster in the field this week. I haven't seen one, I think, I think this is the second one I've seen all year. I saw one in the field this week. But like, my point is, right, is that they don't want it. They don't want that expenditure, right? It's more profitable for them if that guy can sit at a desk and approve the stuff that the computer says to. And why would he not? If the computer says it checks all the boxes, then why wouldn't he do it? And then on our side, especially on the contractor side, if you do TPA, you're also going to get a software system jammed down your throat, and it's going to be the exact mirror image of what's on the other side, and you're going to upload into that, and it's going to tell you can't do these things, and you're going to, oh shit, go back, change all the stuff that you weren't supposed to do, and then re-upload back to the same system. This is going to be that's how they're going to change. The insurance industry is going to be less human centric. The days of training adjusters just so they can turn around in 3 months and leave and go do something else is over. Like, it's done. They've realized that they've lost millions and millions of dollars doing that, and they're not prepared to do it anymore. Like, they're not prepared to put that money on the line anymore to keep training people who are just going to leave and then inevitably come back to make them eat their lunch one day. It's just not going to happen. So the profitability model for the insurers is going to be exactly this, and the implementation of these softwares is going to be exactly that. But there's good things out there, and this is going to be one of them. I think that for TPA guys, your life is about to get so much easier. Everybody who has a whole human being to check off all the boxes with your whatever interface and dashboard that you've got to turn in all your and paperwork to, that person's job just got a whole lot easier, man. And if God forbid they have a subordinate, you may not even need that human anymore. It's going to come down to a lot of the same stuff for us too. And then larger franchise operations, man. Think about the large operations, the franchise, the legacy brands out there that have massive TPA accounts. How easy is this going to make claims processing for them? Here's the flip side of that coin too. It's probably going to force independents like me into more TPA, because it's going to get difficult, right? How does a person want to talk to this machine and have a person at their door in 2 hours, or do you want to wait, hang up, call somebody else, mess around, Google, see who's got the good ratings, and have them come out there? No way, dude. Whoever the insurance company sends is going to become super trusted across the board, and that too is their plan. You know what I mean? It's
I think that FNOL is going to be even more of the battleground. And I agree with you, Doug. The TPA guys, their lives are actually going to get easier. Their overhead is actually going to shrink just by pure body count. But the non-TPA guys, there's an opportunity here. I'm doing this revenue ready technology series, right? The first guys I'm interviewing are distance.so. This is automation of a human-like receptionist and appointment setter and follow-up and all these things that we're talking about FNOL. The second part of this series is going to be another company called, I just had him on the phone yesterday. Shoot, now I'm drawing a blank. There was Livewire. Livewire is in-person, scan a QR code, boom, it goes to somebody who is the project manager or somebody, or the whoever, and you are there on site with that human being.
Wow.
So the technology is there such that the FNOL becomes the battleground. If you can get first notice of loss, you can win that claim, and then you can run that claim. But it's going to require guys that aren't used to technology getting very used to technology, getting very familiar with it, and getting into the game. Because if you're not in the game, you're going to get run over. I think somebody said it once, and then everyone's repeated it. AI is not going to take anyone's job. Who's going to take your job is someone who understands AI and implements it. Period. Mm-hmm. So we've got to. You can't afford, Restores. You cannot afford to wait on the sidelines on this one. You got to get in the game.
Right now, if you're just getting in right now, you're already late, too.
Yeah, but Doug said that in March.
Don't let that stop you.
Yeah, Doug said that in March. And I do have, just so Andy mentioned Revenue Ready. I've got that scrolling. If you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, just check it out on the bottom. If you're just listening to this, it's revenue-ready.com. And I have talked to the guys from Distance as well. It's a really cool platform. And they shameless plug, I think we're going to get them on the podcast pretty soon to talk about that. Perfect. So if you guys keep a lookout if you're listening to this, and you can get it to know what they're doing. But I think it's all necessary. They're filling these necessary problems. They're filling huge needs, from just answering the phones properly. From the marketing perspective, there's nothing that drives me and my team more crazy is when we're sending a ton of leads via LSA and somebody's not answering the phone for loss. And then they're at the end of the month kind of wondering why they're not getting jobs. So automating these processes, I'm a huge believer in it. And then based off of the episode with Doug a couple months ago, I mean, it's inevitable. You need to get into the game, as Andy said. I like that. Maybe we'll name the podcast that today. Get in the game.
My business partner's on the horn with Distance right now too, so now they got the trifecta of endorsements. You get them boys in here, Ben.
Now we're forcing them into a sponsorship of the Restoration Rundown.
That's right.
There you go. That's how you get them back there.
We'll have to go to live. Yeah. It's one or the other. We don't know.
There's going to be good things. There is going to be a lot of good things. Faster turnaround times are real. That could really happen, guys. Everybody who's out there complaining about collections right now, myself included, this is something that we might be able to have a change on the horizon here. Something different might be coming up soon.
There's Distance on right now for the sponsorship.
Right now, they are. They're ringing them up. The supplement predictions too, especially for roofers. Supplement prediction for roofing is going to be a big deal too. risk assessments and things like that, safety assessments. Those are all going to be, I think, done automatically for you. It probably, maybe by the time we even finish this call here, there might be somebody that's already got something here, but they're pretty close on that one right now too. 3D imagery reading, scope writing, estimating, all these things are real right now. This stuff already happens. There's guys out there that are killing themselves still trying to produce the Xactimates and things. And there's a plenty of AI out there doing that now, everybody's working on their versions of it too. I've been in touch with a few people to talk about the ins and outs of implementation of it and things. And there's a few big names with their hats in the ring right now in the estimating game that are looking to do this with an AI tool. And think about how much time that's going to free up from your high level guys who could probably be more valuable doing something other than sitting behind a computer screen doing the same, hotkeys and command and conquer stuff that they've been doing on Xactimate for a million years. There's the logic, the workflow too, just day to day people. And that is a saying. I've said it too. I heard it from Russ. I got it from Russ. Russ said it in Utah, Andy, or in Arizona. Russ said it in Arizona, and that's where I got it from. And I said it at RIA too. But it's not wrong, man. A person who knows how to use AI and knows how to implement AI is going to be infinitely better at the same job than you are, period. If you run head to head with the guy, I feel bad for you because he's going to be home at 3:00 and you're going to be going nuts at 8:00 at night, with the wife and kids screaming at you, So, it's the time is the time value. I know all you guys, especially the business owners out there, I know you guys are the time is the one commodity right now. The money's there, everything else is there, the people, everything's there, but time is the thing that becomes the real value. And this is going to help you. Anything that's going to augment your performance and be able to help you to be more of a human being, better and more capable, more efficient. These are the things that are really, really going to help you.
Yeah, we talked about the good a lot. Right. So it sounds like, and I'm a proponent of automation. Anything you can do to automate your processes in your business, as long as it's done effectively, why not? Right. The cost of having somebody answer the phone between your burden, your overhead, everything like that versus an answering service, for instance, that can answer it. You're freeing yourself up. And I talk about, restoration and business owners in general, we're plate spinners, right? We've got a lot of plates spinning. So if you could just have some of those that are just magnetized to the rod that they're on, why not? Right. So there's a lot of good that's going to come out of these technological advances. And this has been the case throughout the last 100 years, right? There was people adverse to, jumping in a gas powered engine to go drive their trailer full of potatoes down the street. And, where are they at now? Where's MySpace? Where's Blockbusters? Things are going to move. You have to, I think Andy said it best. You're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose it to somebody who's implementing it properly.
Ben, you just said something that triggered something that I was thinking about yesterday.
Potatoes?
Potatoes, yes. Adoption. I was thinking about MySpace, right? What happened to MySpace? Well, Facebook came along, but that's not that simple. MySpace was computer first. Facebook was mobile first. All right. They designed their whole business and Twitter and Instagram. They did this whole, we're going to design for mobile first, right? This became the new battleground. Well, guess what? Now we have to design our businesses to be AI first.
Yes.
We have to integrate these things at a base level into our businesses, because the ones that don't do that are going to get left behind. They're going to become the MySpaces, right? Yeah. That just triggered me.
By the way, if MySpace came back, who would be in your top 5 friends?
Oh, you would, obviously. There's two,
I'm like
two
Tom.
right here.
I'm like Tom from Facebook. He's like
top 5.
Your top 5 music in the profile. Then bring it back. I'd say bring it back. I
bring it back.
I think we're having as much as the technology is kind of advancing so fast. There is some something too going back to the old school. You know what I mean? Like there's 80s parties, there's 90s parties, there's 70s parties. Bring back MySpace. That's a call to anybody out there doing AI. Bring an AI MySpace out that we can get on, have some friends, music in your
That's right.
profile.
Tom still exists.
Tom's still there. He's in
exists.
my
He's
top
still,
5 friends.
yeah, he's still out there, man. What did he do? He did him and the Napster guy did something after the Napster guy got
Napster.
pissed at the Facebook guy, man. Sean Parker.
Mm.
Him and the Napster guy did something after the Napster guy and the Facebook guy were doing something, and then they broke up over it.
Lots of
And
blockbuster
then
franchises.
the Napster guy, man, I can't remember what it was. I'll figure it out. They did something after that. But yeah, I mean, just like anything else, right? There's a good thing to AI for sure, and if you guys aren't using it, you definitely should be. But there's a flip side to this coin too. The flip side is the stuff that we definitely want to make sure that restorers are aware about, because that's the danger zone. You know what I mean? That's where things are getting really tricky out there, and guys are going nuts. I mean, I hear it all the time. Well, I get the same 6 things back with every estimate I send out.
Yeah.
Yep, I know. And it's getting smarter too, isn't it? Yes, it is. I know.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
I know. But the carriers around me are wising up. Actually, like, I've created a new trend in my area now. Like, I don't get too much AI response right now. I was murking them, dude. I was taking them to the whole cleaners. For a long time, I was just letting their AIs talk to my AIs and go back and forth. It was hilarious just to kind of watch them go at it, though, because like their AI will get more poignant in the way that it talks, like not necessarily aggressive, but more serious. You know what I mean? Like, you know. So mine does too, because of my the one that I had actually Andy created, that was the Rebel GPT. I took that GPT and made it a part of my response tool. So it does all the stuff that the Rebel GPT did, but it also has an escalation effect too. And when it detects that you're escalating, it gets a little bit more humorous and tries to just kind of trip you up and make it a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You're missing out. Twitch stream your AIs arguing with the carrier AI. That'd be awesome.
That's right.
That would be the move, huh? That we could just do that, man. Just
put that on your MySpace, dude.
Just let it churn. Let it churn.
So boom. Well, it's a great
segue.
segue, Doug, because one of the email you sent a while back, and we're talking about getting together and kind of just going over, hashing out some of this stuff. I know we talked about doing some marketing things down the road, but it wasn't just the AI. Let's talk about the good, right? You really specifically was the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you've got two negatives and a positive. So let's talk a little bit about the bad and the ugly side of AI before we get too far down here and we wrap this up.
The first and foremost thing that I think is going to be bad, and is already bad, and is coming at us all quicker than we can think. It's already happening in many parts of the country. Is with AI estimating will come bad estimating.
Yes.
Especially with the way that it is right now. And AI is allowing, or I guess, empowering, I guess is the word, adjusters to be less of everything. Yeah, they don't have to be knowledgeable. They don't have to be skilled. They don't have to have any construction ability. They don't have to know anything. They don't even have to know what words are anymore, what words mean anymore. Those line items don't matter, as long as they get a sheet done for them, and it could be done off of their 3D, their whatever camera that they use, right? Then they could, then they don't have to do anything, man. And that's going to be the thing, right? If you're a person who went from having 20 caseloads or 20 cases on your desk a day to now you just got to kind of take some pictures, walk around, get ready to report. Like, come on. You're going to take the easy way out 1,000% of the time, and that's going to make our job harder. That right there is going to make the restorer's job harder, because we're going to have to go, well, hey, buddy, you forgot the baseboard. Bud, you forgot the baseboard. You know what I mean?
You didn't paint the baseboard.
You didn't caulk the baseboard. Bud, you didn't do shit with the baseboard. Bud. You know what I mean? And then when you send that argument up, then it might get into like a human's hands, but at what level, man? How many times are you gonna have to go back and forth? I've actually been keeping kind of a note on this with a couple, because I've had interactions with Elysian now. You know that I was waiting on those, so I've had a couple of interactions with Elysian, and she good, boy, she good, she tough. She knows a lot of stuff. She got all the manuals and all the books, and she knows all the paint codes and all the paint specs, and everything best practices and all kinds of stuff, man. And it's tough to argue with that machine, but it will go back and forth with you 5 different emails. So 5 from you, 5 from it before a human, before it will automatically click.
So does it become does it just become a race to 6?
But you have to make it elevate each time. You can't keep it on the same level. You have to bring it up a level each time. So you have to argue with it about that and change. So don't write your responses all in one. Don't write all your arguments in one point, because you're going to need another one for the next email. You see what I'm saying? Save them and do them in order like that. And that's been working
so kind
out.
of just kind of drip them out.
Exactly. Drip out your reasoning, justification and documentation. Don't hold back on that stuff, because it's just going to put it into the file anyway. Its ability to read some of those things is getting better. There's one company out there that a good friend of ours works at that I can't really tell you shit about right now, but they're doing something really big on this front, and it's probably going to be the cool thing for the restorer side of this. But the carrier side of this is already in play. There's 3 different products out there that are already in use, and everybody who is sick of talking to you're arguing over the same thing over and over again. You're arguing with these systems. You may not know it, but you are. They may sign their name as the adjuster. They're allowed to do that. There's no regulation on any of these things right now. They are allowed to do a lot of things that you may not think, right? That like a computer shouldn't be able to do that. Guess what, bro? A computer's driving your car. A computer's hooking up your whole smart appliance house. A computer's handling your home surveillance. Like, the computers are doing a lot of stuff now, and it's not going to slow down. The pedal right now is boom. And like the Chat GPT linking up with Johnny Ivy, what for? If you're a tech company, bro, why would you link up with the hardest hardware guy in the history of hardware stuff ever? He made the iPhone. He made the whole iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they gonna do, dude? So the Chat GPT phone is probably a thing. Is the Chat GPT phone gonna have LiDAR?
It's just gonna be another black box, and it's gonna do everything.
Dude, if the Chat GPT phone had LiDAR, boys, that's a gift to our industry right there. But it's also a gift to theirs. You know what I mean? And these are the things, man. Scope logic too. That's another thing. AI will exclude things like temporary power, debris staging, firewall assemblies. It just doesn't compute, man. If it has to add more stuff in and there's no reasoning for it to do that, then it's not going to. If the adjusters are using these things, they're not going to either. And then how many guys are, like, especially guys on TPA, this is where the grace and the tools that they get is going to come back to crack them, because the SLA platforms and everything else that you've got to abide by are going to make it to where you won't be able to argue about some of this stuff, and guys are going to take lower numbers on jobs, especially for firewalling and stuff like that just can't be computed by AI right now. They don't know where the designated and the partition walls are. So yeah, man, averages, dude. AI wants averages. That's what it relies on. It relies on the average that this is out there, the average that this line item is used, and everything else, right? But restoration is situational, man. It's every single job could be very, very different, and the attempt to standardize that, I think, will come back to bite everyone, them, us, everybody, because it's going to be a lot of stuff that gets left in the middle, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be customers. It's probably going to be clients get stuck in the middle with that one. That and I think the ability for adjusters to not have to adjust anymore and to literally have no skills. Like, think of training now for adjusters. Day one, all right, Ted, come on in here. Here's your login. All right, here's your login, and basically here's your camera. You're an adjuster, bud. We got your license.
Congratulations.
In the state of Colorado. Get out there and take the photos just like we taught you in day one of class, and make sure that you come back and turn in the computer-generated estimate and tell your customer that this is all we're going to pay, period. All right? And they're going to yell at you. You take that yelling, Ted. We got a Christmas bonus for you.
That's right. That's right.
It's going to get
bad. Shouldn't I talk to... No, don't talk. No talking.
Don't talk to anybody. You don't need any contractors. We have contractors. We got
contractors.
Vetted contractors. Yeah, we got the contractors for you. Here's a list of them. You pick your favorite. You pick your favorite off the list here.
Yeah, I
It's going
saw
to be the same.
an article that the right to repair is making a comeback, and that's going to dovetail directly with the AI powered TPA SLAs. I see a future where a certain segment of this market completely disappears because the carrier says, "Well, we're gonna repair everything under X dollar amount. We're gonna choose our right to repair, and we're gonna take your house away from you. Your ability to rebuild your own house is going to be taken away from you as soon as you turn in the insurance claim."
Yep. And that's a real thing too, man. I mean, there's a lot of the scary stuff out there, man. There's a lot of scary stuff. That's the digitization of tasks that do require skills is going to be difficult. And without any regulation, without any government oversight, this is the Wild West right now. And it's
Really
the
is.
Wild West. It could be for the right reasons and it could be for the wrong reasons. And I guess it just depends on what side of the ball you're on, whether you think you're right or wrong.
Yeah. So what's working? I've got a couple things that, can we peel the curtain back a little bit on what processes you're using, Doug, on today, on the daily? I'll start. So I do a fair bit of expert witness work and appraisal work. On the expert witness side, I use ChatGPT and I use Notebook LM. Between those two tools, I load all my data into Notebook LM. Notebook LM does an amazing job of just organizing it and making it summaries. And I can ask questions. I load the policies in there, and I ask pretty pointed questions, and it comes back. And then I take those data and summaries and timelines, and I put them into ChatGPT, and I write my reports. And those are saving me hours, like literal hours, where before I would sit down with a PDF reader and read everything on one side, and I'd have a blank page in Word, right? And I'm doing it, and I'm putting out such good, like, high level shit that I have no right to put out, except for now we have the tools to do it. And the same on the rebuttal side. I do use ChatGPT to respond to adjusters' nonsense, and more, it's not adjusters. It's another AI spitting out this nonsense based on a rule set. But if I can spend 5 minutes where it used to take me 35 minutes to write the same letter, I'm gonna do it all day long.
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Yeah. ChatGPT has been very kind to me. I've made a couple of custom GPTs that have gotten around out there. A lot of folks are using 2-minute technician. It'll help you in the field. It'll help your guys in the field make strong decisions, and it can do it at a large scale or small scale level. You need a power ROM for a building, or all the way down to a guy who's first day handling his first loss in a basement. That tool can help you with that. I made another one called Claims Assist for contractors. Ben, I just put that link in the chat too.
Yeah, I've got it. For people listening, this is going to be too much to read to you for a URL. So check out YouTube once this airs. Check it out, and you'll be able to see these GPTs that he's made. Right now, we have the 2-minute technician up, the short URL, and I'm going to let that stay up there for just a minute, and I'll throw up the other one here shortly. So just make sure you get these, because they're definitely making their rounds and are definitely going to help you out a little bit. I'm going to throw the other one up here now.
Find my LinkedIn page too. They're all on there too. I have not been trying to hide either one of these things from anybody. 2-minute technician has been pistol whipped by the great Anthony Nelson, and it survived that. Ben Justison is also giving it the whipping now too. So If it can make it through both those gentlemen, I'm pretty confident that I've got a pretty solid tool there. 2-minute technician is badass, man. It'll help your guys in the field, but the one that'll really help you with adjusters is Claims Assist for contractors. You can feed it their emails, you can feed it their justification. It'll ask you for what you have. It'll read your report links. It'll take a look at stuff like that. It'll take a look through your imagery. It can read your estimate, their estimate, compare differences, contrast differences, see where they didn't give you enough, where their measurements don't add up to your measurements, back and forth, etc. And it can make all that a doctorate level email for you to go back and forth with them with. And it even has a sense of humor if you'd like to activate the humor mode on Claims Assist for contractors. Not suggest doing it against adjusters that you are friends with, unless you're like real good friends with them and you tell them that you're going to do it, because if not, you ain't going friends with them after this, boy. But yeah, humor mode is tough. It takes in all the stuff, all the documentation that's ever been published anywhere, OSHA guidelines, paint spec books, everything else, like everything that's out there for any kind of material that you've ever used for product warranties or manufacturer warranties or everything else, whatever it is. I've got a way to argue it through a chat GPT. And I don't think I've written an email back to an adjuster all year long, man. I think it's been since last year, at least, since I wrote an email like physically back to an adjuster. They're not writing them to us anymore either, man. I'm not going to take time out of my day to sit there and scribble down an argument to something that your AI spit out. No, sirree, Bob. Here's my AI, and you guys can battle it out. And it has been kind of entertaining to watch.
Battle bots.
Are you playing with agents at all? Are you playing with agents at all there, Doug?
Yeah, a couple of things we're doing to after hours calls, man, is completely agentic. It's good to, I made the chat bot. I made a chat bot for those of you guys listening at home. I made a chat bot that's used by a company called Gong.io. She does all kinds of stuff. Her name's Sarah. She does all kinds of stuff that's business related, things like that. But the chatbot creation and agentic AI thing has been a train I've been on for a while here. Now I'm starting to implement some of these tools into restoration to just kind of make sure that both my businesses can all have the same fun toys and we can all have the cool stuff to make life easier, and I don't end up being bogged down in between the two. But yeah, it's nice. After hours phone calls, man, if you guys are in the restoration business, a lot, legacy owners and stuff like that got a call center that sends them a text message or whatever. But those of us who, still have our names at the top of the P&L and stuff like that, it's hard, you know what I mean? Especially when it's a surge time, man. And if you're still going out with your guys, like I still go out with my guys sometimes, man. If we're busy, we're busy. I'm not sitting at home. Like I got to go, you know what I mean? So, if everybody's all out there and then it's 11 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever, you finally get to sleep and there goes the phone again, man. It takes a special guy to wake up and go, "Hi, this is Doug Rare Restoration. How can I help you?" You know what I mean? So it takes a real special guy to be able to do that over and over and over,
Yeah.
So
I was that guy.
Easier, man. Yeah, we made it a little bit easier on ourselves, and the agent, is very personable. You'd never even know you were talking to a computer. Takes in all the pertinent information, just like the ones that the insurance carriers are using too. You know what I mean? Just like the ones they're using. Takes in all the pertinent information. For me, I don't care about your policy number and all that shit. We'll work all that out later. I need to know what type of loss, what type of flooring, how bad we talk about here, and how many rooms and all that jazz, standing water, all the stuff. So it goes through the prompts and asks you all the questions and things like that. But at the end, we all just get blown up with a text message, and it'll keep going off with a reminder every 5 minutes until somebody on the admin staff reads it. So instead of a phone ringing, it'll just be a beep, beep, beep until somebody gets it.
Yeah.
Usually, whoever's on call, we have an admin staff person on call every weekend. So whoever's on call picks up the beep and goes after it, gets the right people deployed. It's made that a lot simpler, man. It's made the FNOL process a lot simpler for us, and I think that is going to be one of the biggest battlegrounds here is capturing FNOL. It's not going to be so automatic anymore. Your Google ads and stuff like that are going to matter. There's going to be a lot more. Even large estimating companies are looking at practices that some might consider becoming a TPA. You know what I mean? And it's because like then they would control a little bit more of the gamut that way too. And then they've got the carrier relationships to be able to press that too. So here's our preferred vendors list, and they're going to write the estimate in our software. They're going to deliver it through our system to you who loves our software, our pricing, and everything about us. And here we go, man. Sign here. And they're that's not even the ugly part. This is just bad too, guys. This is just bad. Okay. There's still more coming, man. But
we haven't got to the real bad.
Yeah, I think that this is the where the battleground's going to be, man. FNOL, independent restorers, watch your heinies, dude. This is not. This isn't something that you want to miss out here, man. It's really
don't
not.
Sleep on this. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah, this train is going to be a big deal, man. And if you stay asleep too long, by the time you get around to waking up and telling your staff to pay attention, everyone else in your market is going to be already way past you. And it may be for good or bad too. There's going to be companies out there, I believe, that suffer drastically because they don't tech, man. There's a lot of guys out there. I mean, I run into them all the time. It's 2025. I don't computers. What do you mean you don't computers? How the fuck? But I mean, yeah, exactly. I had an email back in 2018. I had me an email. I checked it back then a lot. Now, not so much. But like that's the thing is that like we're gonna be we're gonna be our own worst enemies in this, just like we've been in other things, man. We're gonna be our own worst enemies at this if we. And there's more to get into the ugly side about this too, but we're the ones feeding these machines that are kicking our asses. Yeah. You know what I mean? Bottom line, it's our rebuttals that are going back in there, being studied, dissected, and then regurgitated back to Tom, the contractor. So my rebuttal goes in, they dissect my stuff. Whoa, this guy's good. Blah 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 blah. Then they figure out how to augment their response, and then then the new high pressure response goes out to Tom for his claim that he didn't even know me, man. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of great effects on people in my market with being on the RIA's pricing council. Being there has had a great direct effect. I've got a direct line to pricing. I can prove if their numbers off, I can prove it, and I can tell them, hey, and it's been great for everyone around me, right? How do you think everyone around me would feel if the opposite were true with every single carrier on Earth? And I'm out here just body bagging their AIs left and right, and now their machines are so freaking smart that the humans that are employed at company B just can't even answer anymore. They've never even read the OSHA manuals. They have no idea why these things are not right or wrong or indifferent. You know what I mean? And so there's the flip side there, right? It's like, I mean, I can have my AI go at them pretty tough, dude. But it has a limit too. It has a limit of not like, don't give away the goods, give away the stuff that you can argue about, but the goods, and I do appraisals. Thanks to Andy McCabe too. I do a lot of appraisals too. That's another thing. If any of you guys out there are not doing appraisals, you should probably talk to Andy McCabe. Add a little bit of revenue to Doug.
Hey.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, those are the tools, right? And then, but those are the goods that I save for those too. Andy is that that claims justifier man is really good at doing the standard stuff, but the real good stuff, I mean, you can unlock it, tell it to do the things that it's not going to do, because it'll ask you, like it'll say, I'm specifically not doing this. Do you want me to open up this box of worms about siding that was installed before 1998 or whatever else? You know what I mean? It'll do everything. It'll pull up local codes. It'll open up whatever box of worms you want it to, but at first it won't do that. It has to be controlled by you to do that. You know what I mean? So
what do you think? So I've got a particular situation when it comes to State Farm here locally, and I've made a business decision on the public adjuster side of my business that when I see State Farm, if I sign a State Farm loss, I am going directly to an attorney. i.e., I know how the game is going to go. I know how it's going to be played. And don't play that. I'm going to go straight to an attorney because I don't want to waste my time. And I see a potential future where that is the same for appraisal. All of a sudden, we know what nonsense we're going to get handed with whatever is happening with whatever carrier on a particular loss. And we say, you know what? I'm not going to do this dance with you. We're going straight to appraisal. that pushes
I think
it up,
appraisals
right?
where all the I think
think it is.
appraisals where all the adjusters are going to go, dude. I think that's where all the human adjusters are going to go.
Right.
All the human
Right.
being adjusters who actually know how to adjust files and write the estimates. That's what they're going to become. Why wouldn't you, right? Oh, well, State Farm just laid me off. Guess I'm going to go start Dan's appraisal service tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you're already having an appraiser. You already got an adjuster's license, dude. What?
Yep.
Man, it'd be open and shut. It'd be open and shut for a lot. That's what I think a lot. And I think appraisal is going to be the last frontier for humans. I think that a claims appraisal is still going to be a lot, but again, humans augmented by AI. You know, there's still AI augmentation out there that can make any human better at what they do. It can make Andy McCabe a smarter adjuster, or a smarter estimator. It can make Doug Weatherman a smarter operator. You know what I mean? Maybe, I guess, is the thing too. Unless it goes off on a tangent.
Sometimes
but the
you can't
point
fix
is
stupid.
Exactly, and the fixing. Sometimes if you get too far down with stupid on AI, it's lost, man. It's gone. Next thing you know, it's trying to tell you how to disassemble a '69 Volkswagen carburetor.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the good side, I think, for appraisal is that's where the humans are going to go. That's where the skills are going to have to go, right? Because that's where the game gets serious. Claims is kind of like, yeah, fuck it. You do the thing, we do the thing. I'll shoot the ball, pass the ball, shoot the ball. But you know, when appraisal comes in, then it's the playoffs. You know, and if you got to go to court, there definitely ain't going to be nobody in there letting ChatGPT talk out loud on the stand. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of play still for not yet. I mean,
might have one of Andy's characters he's created talking in court on a computer.
That's right.
In Spanish.
He goes, I didn't want to spend the time to be here, so I sent my AI understudy.
Yeah. I double booked myself, and now I'm going to have my AI Espanol speak this out loud.
The real Andy McCabe is in England right now.
Exactly.
The other Andy McCabe
supposedly
in your courtroom.
Allegedly.
So we talked about good. We talked about bad. We talked a little bit about ugly. But what I want to do is talk about some of the ways as we tail towards the end of this, to talk about some of the things that we can do, restorers specifically can do to help mitigate some of the bad and ugly right now, something actionable. I know implementation, adoption is huge. You know, I firmly believe that you should be automating as many processes as you can. Call center, call out, just from a marketing perspective, make sure whatever AI, whatever call center you're using knows your business, knows the restoration industry. I can't tell you how many people get sold at a trade show on some sort of call center and they don't even know the first thing about the restoration industry, and you're just not doing yourself any favors. Much like working with a marketing company that doesn't know what they're doing, you know, you're going to just spend a lot of time and money on it. But for the bad and the ugly, Doug and Andy, what are a few things that restorers can do right now to maybe mitigate some of that, protect themselves right now, besides creating AI chatbots that can argue with the carriers?
Real quick, I mean, it's going to get worse, man. Automated claims denials. Claims are going to be denied without seeing anything. Okay, the approach to prioritize speed over optics is going to be there. That's going to be a problem. Erosion of skilled estimating, we definitely talked about. That's going to be bad. It's going to get worse year after year after year. There's people that don't even know how to use Xactimate anymore soon on both sides of the ball. On both sides of the ball, there'll be estimators who are never trained on how to use Xactimate. Don't know how. You know what I mean? That's going to be a real thing. How do you combat these things? Controlling your data is, I preach this, man. Contractors don't know what I'm saying a lot of the time, but the control of your data is huge. Okay. The flip side, one of the really ugly things of this is that every single 3D image that is captured by your Matterports that you turn into these AI is scannable. Okay. That's people's pictures of their children. That's people's privacy information. There could be a bill. There could be a credit card statement. There could be anything. And now you just made that open to public. Okay. That might be a problem. Okay. Be in control of your data, guys. Make sure that you're protecting your customers. Tell them, make sure that they know that you're doing this and that this is going to go to their insurance company. If they've got a big ass weed grow going on in the basement or something, they should probably take that down before you take your Matterport. That type of thing, man. So that there's, you know what I mean? Just people's privacy is going to be out there on display in full color, in living color for everybody. And unless contractors are able to control the data going back and forth there, then we are also complicit in that exchange. Okay. Now, the data brokerage industry is by far the biggest industry that we've got in America. It's by far the biggest industry that we've got in the world. Anywhere where they're trading, selling, or collecting data is making more money than the three of us and everybody else listening combined. Okay, that's all that there is to it. It's the biggest industry in the world, guys. Okay, the control of that data is imperative for us. Don't go willy-nilly shooting off the whole magazine because you got a mean email from an adjuster. Don't give them the whole mag on them. Don't dump the whole mag on them because they upset you. Okay, you're just teaching them how to upset you. Now in your file it says will be upset if you do this. And now you're just pinging yourself, and they're going to do it to you over and over and over again. So you've literally ripped out all your hair. You know what I mean? It's the data.
It's good relationship advice too, Doug.
That's great.
That's great relationship advice. I was going to say you never empty the full clip, dude. You can't empty the full clip right off the bat because they are learning at rapid paces. The wives are learning at breakneck speeds how to make you mad.
That's right. Yeah. You can't give up all the cards right away. I mean, the restoration industry needs clear standards too around AI use. Okay, we need to demand when AI was used. If the estimate was written by AI, we need to demand it. They need to demand it too. The carriers need to demand it when the contractors, third party, whoever the hell wrote the estimate. That needs to be clarity. There needs to be transparency on both sides of the ball. I don't believe that's going to come without regulation, but I am no senator. You know what I mean? I don't know. Educating field professionals on how to challenge bad AI. That's going to be a big deal. Your estimators who might just look at an argument and be like, well, that makes kind of sense. I should maybe give up this $800 or whatever, Nope. Challenge bad ideas. If it sounds stupid, it probably is, and you're probably right. The ability for AI to hallucinate is definitely there. It's a real thing, right? With this data, you cannot. There's no one on earth that could tell me that it's not being sold and stored. The amount of data that we're putting into this, there's no way. I don't care. I don't care who you are. There's no 100%. Way that this data is not being stored
well, it is.
And then resold. Yeah, and that's what programs and estimating softwares and things like that are going to be making themselves after is these data. Okay. If we want to be in control of our future as a company, we need to, or our future as an industry, we need to be in control of our future as our companies, right? How we release what we, okay, what we put into F9 notes, what we put into justification emails, the way we get down with adjusters, or we don't get down with adjusters. You know what I mean? I don't talk to you guys. I bill my clients. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of different ways to do this. There's a lot of different ways to do this restoration thing where some people I don't even talk to adjusters. I only deal with my clients. That's great, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you're $2-3 million a year company doing great. But you know what I mean? The rest of us up here that do the shit all the time and all the time, big places all the time, you become a bank. And the last thing you want to do is be hung out for a whole bunch of money. You know what I mean? And the AI stuff can help speed up cycle times as long as we're not teaching it how to cut our knees off.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback a little bit on that when it comes to the customer. And this isn't technology, but this is something that restorers can do today. They can become more transparent and more communicative and more empowering for their clients. And when the nonsense comes, which the nonsense will from the carrier side, we need to stop, and there's still a propensity for this, we need to stop protecting our client, the insured, from that. We need to have an open book as far as the claim goes. We need to have an open dialogue with our client and educate them on, and hey, we just got this nasty gram from the adjuster. The adjuster says he's not going to pay for X, Y, and Z. We need to be in a position to sit down with our client with that letter and say, does this feel right to you? No? Okay, here's some things you can do. Why don't you call your agent? Why don't you file a complaint? Why don't you call this adjuster who didn't write this AI-based sheet? You call the adjuster and you ask him some pointed questions. Because what's going to be accelerated, one of the other things that's going to be accelerated by this whole technological push is the alienation and separation of the restoration contractor from the process. The carrier is going to take every opportunity to take the independent and push them away and drive that wedge between them and the insured, their client. And we can be proactive about that. We stand the best chance of building that relationship. The carrier's not, Doug said it, the carrier's not going to send a human being out to these losses anymore. Who is going to send a human being? We are. The restorer is. And we need to leverage and build that relationship on every single claim, because that's going to protect us better than any AI chatbot.
Yeah, I think it's something that they should be doing right now. There's already a level of that wedge being driven in between the owner and we see it already for years.
Yep.
I mean, probably since this has been going on. So it's probably way more prevalent now, especially with the lacking of the human touch there and getting a champion in your corner when it comes to trying to get paid on these jobs or even just doing the jobs in general.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gentlemen,
you're right, man. I mean, in the end, these claims are real damage, real people, real risk. And I mean, while AI can help guide us, it's not going to replace ethics, accountability, and professional judgment, especially. It's not going to replace these things, man. You're still going to have to use, and it's going to get bad before it gets better, I think. But we're still in the driver's seat, I think, of how this ultimately goes. I think regulation is going to be big once people start regulating AI, when they start to see the impact it's having on industries, not just ours, but a lot of other industries too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to get regulated at some point, and that's going to be interesting for us.
Well, I hope it's not too late.
I don't think so. And Andy, to piggyback off our episode, it's get involved, guys. Get involved in this. Get in the game. Get in the arena. Get in the fight now. It was some of the numbers, Andy, you told me about the people that are members of certain organizations is astounding versus how many people are out there actually doing this work. So if you've had your head in the sand and you just want to go and complain on Facebook or complain to your peers, get involved. Join your national associations. Join your regional associations. Be a loudspeaker for this. We all need each other here. If you don't want the carriers to take complete and utter control of and control your destiny as a company, you need to get involved. Andy, you've got a great platform
100%.
on Facebook. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it, but it's up and coming. I hear the formerly known as the Restoration Rebels, the Total Claims Alliance. I think we're pushing 17,000 members now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of you. So that's a really good start to start, getting loud about this and start making taking Doug's advice seriously and not giving it all away right off the bat, because you have to remember in most cases, and I'll go out on a limb and say this, it's not going to be to your benefit for these AI chatbots to be talking to you. They're teaching each other, and I can't overstate it. They're actively learning how to rebut, how to deny, and how to do all these things. And if you can get involved now, and I think regulation, transparency, all those things are great. If you call back to the episode with Andy and I, just the amount of money that's needed to, lobby and to create regulations is huge. But if you couple that with how many people are just in Andy's Facebook group, I mean, it's only a few dollars a person could make a big difference. And there's a lot we can do, but I think just getting involved, stop complaining. People in the marketing, the guys are still complaining about Google, and they're still watching their businesses fail because they're getting sold on Yelp and Yellow Pages to advertise their restoration business, and they're completely adverse to Google. We're engaging with pretty decent sized franchises all the time that a few of the owners like, no, we're doing Yellow Pages stuff. We used an SEO company before and it didn't work. And it's like, dude, that's like, going on a diet for 3 days and it not working and you giving up, right? You've got to get involved. You've got to actively be involved in this and really have a purpose and intent behind what you're going to do. And I think kudos to Andy. I mean, Doug, huge kudos to you. I mean, you're bending over backwards trying to get this information out there. And funny story and how I met Doug is that, I got a random email in the middle of the day of this alarming email from Doug, and it was just like, listen, everybody, we've got something coming up going on that is going to affect everybody, and it's so important that I get this information out there. And a couple of weeks later, Doug was on the podcast talking about all of these things we're talking about now, and they're just that much further along. So if you've been listening to this, or you're in the Rebels, or you're Doug or Andy or myself, get involved. These guys have been an incredible resource for information, are always willing to give up their time and talk to you. But I cannot say it enough. I mean, get involved. If you've heard me do my TED talk on marketing, one of the biggest parts of our presentation is getting involved in the industries, and that just had nothing to do with advancing the industry and protecting your company. That's just about getting sales. So from sales, if the AI stuff isn't moving a needle for you and you want to grow your business, you got to get involved in these organizations. You got to invoke change that way, because the people that may be on top probably don't have your best interests in mind as a restorer.
And why would they? Yeah, it's human nature. We only care about what we can see and what we can affect. Anything outside our circle of effect, we don't care about. It's not evil. It's not malicious. It's just we don't give a fuck about anything we can't affect. So the people at the top don't care about the people at the bottom because they can't see them.
Yeah,
you
got to make your voice be heard.
They care about the
fend for yourself.
Well,
you got to fend for yourself. You've got to take responsibility for you and yours.
Well, you guys have created the opportunity for that, and really just pretty soon your heads aren't going to be able to fit in these screens. But really, to be honest with you, you guys are creating that opportunity right now. So don't miss out. If you're here listening to this, and we're gonna share this everywhere. If there's anything you take away from this, is you control this destiny by just getting involved. 17,000 voices is quite a bit. And I think that's, to be honest with you, I think that's really just scratching the surface of the people out there that are probably, everybody's going to be affected by this. And in a good ways as well, right? This isn't all doom and gloom, but the bad stuff is so bad that it's not, you can't sit around in the sidelines anymore and just complain.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you can, but you're not going to,
I'm still going to
complain.
I complain
to the AI.
Yeah, I think Doug's got an AI he's creating for you just to complain to, and then it's going to put you in a database of people that are going to get blocked from really important content that he's going to share in the future.
There you go.
Well, guys, I really appreciate your time. We're running up a little over an hour. I think we could do this for quite a bit. I know we've got a few ideas of things that we can share with anybody, but if you are listening to this, or if you listen to this, or you're streaming this, you have anything you're struggling with your business, whether it's AI or you're afraid of Terminator coming back in time to kill John Connor, or you just need to learn how to improve your processes in your business, or if you have marketing related questions, just drop a comment anywhere you're checking out this content. I'm an open book myself. I'm in the Rebels. I'm in Total Claim Alliance. If there's any questions about anything that's got going on, please feel free to reach out to me. And I'm sure Doug and Andy share the same sentiments. Gentlemen, I'm glad you guys had the time today. I'm looking forward to future episodes and addressing some of these problems. And Doug, keep fighting the good fight. Andy, keep fighting the good fight. I did share these URLs. We'll share these URLs in the show notes as well when you're checking this out, just so you don't have to be forced to come look at our mugs on YouTube if you want to just listen to it and you just love the ASMR of our voices enough to be driving around listening to this stuff. But guys, is there anything else, closing thoughts before we end this and get on with the day?
No, just go out, get involved, and take control of your own business, because no one else is going to do it for you.
Amen.
Ditto, and thanks for having us, Ben. Appreciate it. Andy, it's always a pleasure to see you, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Anytime, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All
right, that's it for the episode today. Thank you for tuning in. Can't reiterate enough to get involved. If you guys are following along, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas at the Core Collective and the upcoming Experience event in Las Vegas. We're super excited to have Ironclad out there. Check out those events. They're really great. Make sure you are following Doug and Andy on the LinkedIns, on the Facebooks, on the Instagrams, and whatever else you do. I know Doug has a really cool TikTok where he does a lot of dances, and it may be AI based, but I'm not sure. And make sure you check out these links that they shared. Doug's GPTs are making some big improvements for everybody, and I think they'll really help you guys out. That's it for today's episode. We'll talk to you.